Guys, Artosis here, bringing you the CasterMuse Star League Season number 4. This is from the round of 8, and it is a best of 5 between, in the top right, Action. An amazing and hard-working Zerg player. This guy, back in the day, the Kespa days, before StarCraft 2 came out, the whole Korean scene was known for working very, very hard. But he was known as one of the top 2 hard workers. He put more hours into the game than just about anyone and has become just an amazing macro Zerg player over the years. His opponent, of course, in the bottom right, Stork, is considered one of the 4 greatest players of all time. 4th place, that is, behind Flash, Chadong, and Bisu. But even to be named amongst them is amazing. He's one of the 6 dragons, of course, second only to Bisu. And just a monster Protoss player. He became a coach in StarCraft 2 and was a pretty successful pro gamer there as well, and eventually did return to his original love of Brood War. Nowadays is a father, but still does reasonably well overall, in tournaments, in ASL and everything. Still a very high level. Now, I would say, though, between these two, I would probably give Action a little bit of an advantage. His finishes each ASL season seem to be just a little bit better than the season before. He continues to improve. He continues to work extremely hard, which again is what he's known for. And, just think about this matchup. This is not the matchup I think about when I think about Stork. I do feel like it's probably his weakest matchup, whereas for Action, I actually think it's maybe his strongest matchup, although statistically I think he's done very well in Zerg vs. Zerg lately, which is kind of surprising almost from a macro Zerg. Either way, I think it's going to be a fantastic series. I'm super glad that it is a best of 5, and it's starting here on Polypoid. My favorite 4-player map, I think, that we have in the whole world right now. Just an awesome, awesome map. As you see, this is a Nexus first from Stork into a gateway. He's going ahead and sending his probe to the north over this 3rd base location, which is gas-free. And he's going to find Action right away up here. Now, Action has gone for a hatchery first into a spawning pool, so Stork's build not going to be punished. Maybe a little bit risky, I guess, but Action is not someone that you expect to Zergling Rush all that often. He's pretty happy with his macro play. It's in the late game that you really do have to be afraid of Action. He will not miss production. He will be producing like a madman, spending those big Zerg dollars. So, Stork getting himself off to a reasonable start. Ooh, almost loses the probe, but blocks the hatchery that Action wanted to take here. So a nice usage of this scouting probe. Sends another one up. This one way too low in health to keep it alive, even though those shields regen. Now he's sending up this other one. It's very important to keep a scout alive for a very long time against Zerg. He actually sees a lot of Zerglings being sent down the map. 8 of them at the moment. Now the Forge going up. He does have a second Zal that's going to be popping, and he's bringing up a probe. Oh, he's actually... I guess he's just decided that this will pop out in time. I think he's just barely exactly right. Dude, that's pro gamer timing for you right there. Anyways, the Zerglings come up and get a good surround on one of the Zealots. They do take some reasonable damage there, but they get a pick on a Zealot, which is important. Now, there's a shield battery that's been made, so Stork just making sure that he's not going to die here. Throws down a cannon, which he will need to make sure that his gateway can stay alive. But you can't heal buildings with shield batteries like you can in StarCraft 2, so this gateway is looking like it might end up going down. He's actually bringing a lot of probes out here to fight. More Zerglings have come down for Action. This could end up being a very fast game here if Action can actually break through. More probes being pulled up. Action, of course, he made a lot of Zerglings, so those could have been drones, but were not. Stork sitting back, surrounding his cannons, trying to keep this all alive. Throws up a second Forge as a part of a wall here so they can't get through, and the cannon finishes. Stork somehow stems the flow of Zerglings. Oh my god, that was just crazy. Just barely holding on against that aggression from Action. Now, looking at the counts, it looks closer than maybe it should, because Action did all that Zergling attacking, off of 11 drones. So there was like a long period where he wasn't mining that many minerals. Yeah, he got a lot of probes though, which is very important. Now Stork has a probe in the main base. He's going to scout over here and find a Hydralisk den already made. Definitely looks like a 3-hatch Hydra bust. As far as looking at what Stork has here, he has this gateway out front. This gateway, I mean, if Hydras come down, there's no way that this lives. And notice he's upgrading out of this forge, because this forge is over to the side a bit more, a lot harder to keep alive against Hydras. So you definitely see Action's gonna get some more damage done, but the building's not as impactful as, for instance, this forge. Now, looking over at what Stork has here, Cybernetics Core on the way. Of course, he knows that there is no layer on the way as of yet, so doesn't need a Corsair too quickly. You might end up getting one just for some scouting intel. More and more Hydras being rallied down right now. Of course, he's going to want to hold position these to go ahead and pick off some buildings. He sees this cannon warping in. The single Zealot going to come out and push that Hydralisk back. Definitely some to and fro going on here. The Zergling's ready to help fight as well if the Zealot comes out again. Stargate is being produced, so Stork going to get that for his scouting intel. And again, this gateway, not long for this world. It's stuck way out in front. It was part of his re-walling to make sure he doesn't die to Zerglings or anything like that, and he needed a gateway, but unfortunately for him, look, he's trying to take some extra shots on these Zealots so that he can pop out that third Zealot, and it actually works. So he gives, it looks like, what, like 80, 84 health off of this Zealot for this Zealot to be alive. Of course, he has that shield battery, so he can re-heal those shields right away. And now, as anticipated, Action hitting that second forge. Lots of cannons being made. Taking a look. A Citadel as well as a robotics facility. So this could be like he wants to go for a Dark Templar drop. Maybe he thinks Lurkers are coming. I'm not sure what Stork's plan is there as of yet. Looking over on Action's side of the map, a lot of macro going on. He is starting to remake some drones as well. Evolution Chamber coming up. 4th and 5th hatches, but still no layer. That is important, right? If you are not getting a layer, then you are not going to have Overlord speed to deal with DTs. You're not going to have Spires to do anything either. Now, look at this. Oh my god, he might actually cancel +1. Stork having some terrible roughness this game. Wow, the range there on those Hydralisks, just able to kill off the Forge. So that's a +1 that was almost done, which now just does not exist. It's super painful, right? You want to get those upgrades up as quickly as possible. Now he's hitting this other Forge, but Stork on his third Forge now in his main base, going ahead and upgrading that +1 attack. Now the Corsair going around, scouting what it can. The Overlord's, of course, on top of those Hydras. And what he was able to scout is, this is going up to 6-hatch Hydra. The layer is not done yet. Double Evolution Chamber. So what I think we're going to be seeing here out of Action is really tons of Hydras. Just mass Hydra. I think he's getting the layer for Overlord speed, but we could see the Lurker upgrade as well, of course. And Stork, oh my god, look at what Stork is doing here. Oh, I'm getting chills. This is super cool. So he only made the single Corsair, and he knows that there's no mutas. So he's actually going for speed shuttles as well as Reavers here, which is not that common in the matchup. Like, Reavers are a great unit against Zerg, but you don't always have the greatest opportunity to use them, especially against more standard Mutalisk openers, or, well, I guess not Mutalisk openers, but Spire openers. But here, if you only have as your anti-air the Hydras, you can really out-micro that with the shuttle. So let's see what Stork can get done with this. A lot of Zerglings being made right now, a lot of Hydras. This is a very unit-heavy type of game out of Action. He is just hitting his macro. You can see 40 drones. That's a really solid economy for Zerg. And here we go. The first Reaver drop into the natural. Throws that Scarab down. A good pullback there. Just taking a bit of splash damage. Forces a lot to go away. Gets a decent hit right there. And oh, down to 14 health there. Sacks the Zealots. But the Hydras almost picked this off. If they had picked this off, that would be a huge advantage for Action. But luckily for Stork, he does get away. He has that shuttle speed now, so it should be a bit easier to keep this alive. In the meantime, he is sending 5 Zealots up the side of the map. 4th base going down for Action. That's hatchery number 7 for him. So again, his production going to be out of control. More Zealots just going to push up here. Legs are done. He still doesn't have +1. It's almost there again, which means he would have been just about on his way to 1-1. A huge difference, of course. Now, these Zealots come up upon this fourth base with nothing there. You see the drones being drilled through, trying to stop the Zealots from attacking. Oh, that was a beautiful drill there, and that actually saved this hatchery. Those Zealots, if the drones hadn't done that, I think would have killed this off. Instead, at the sacrifice of a couple drones, Action saves it. Beautiful displacement of those Zealots. I am literally getting nerd chills here. Some great play from both Stork and Action so far. What an awesome round of 8 matchup. Now a few lurkers coming down. The Zealot's just going to run past for now. Of course, he already has the robotics, so he is making some observers. Going to be able to push those lurkers back. Very, very important. Now bringing 2 Reavers in this very damaged shuttle along with the Zealots. This is a ground-pounding army right here. The Zealots with their +1 attack. Oh no, but there's already +1 carapace. So that +1 attack basically erased. Now, the Lurker Egg went down to slow him down, but of course, Reavers can kill those very, very quickly indeed. Now, bringing these Reavers up, he's trying to target down that shuttle, but good micro from Stork, pulls it back, gets both the Reavers out, and the Zealots will easily carve through pieces of this army. Even a High Templar with Storm coming up right now, but you can see just the damage being put out by these Reavers. Now, pushing forward into this fourth, finally, Stork going to be able to take out this hatchery, trying to get a bit earlier. A big army coming up. Don't forget, there's no shuttle. So these Reavers are not going home. No way, no how. They are on a one-way mission to do as much damage as possible. And they've already done a lot. Look at that, 16 kills and 12 kills. This group of Zealots, also 10 of them charging forward here. Zerglings and Hydras waiting. And as the Reavers come up, I think we're going to see Action maybe pull back a little bit. No, he's just going to dive on it. He's decided he has plenty of units to knock this out. Going to pick off this first Reaver. No, he doesn't quite get it. A great pullback from Stork. Keep it alive as long as possible. The Zealots doing huge amounts of damage as Action tries to kill off the splash. In the meantime, we have Zealots and High Templars coming up from the other angle. The Reaver's still alive. Looks like it will finally be picked off. But even after all this is dealt with, the main force of Stork coming up, he has double observers here. A great storm goes down, keeps both of them alive, although the shields are gone. More lurkers coming up to replace the other ones against these Zealots. And it looks like Stork will pull back for now, making an Archon, throwing down another amazing storm. Really damaged Hydras up here, some of them falling. Dragoons now joining to help out against those lurkers. Stork pushing forward, but there's just too much. He has to pull back. The Lings getting on top of absolutely everything. The Hydra's helping out as well. No Psy Storms left over. And Stork will be pushed back. Woo! That was a crazy sequence of attacks. And who's ahead after all that? Let's take a look, right? Okay, so we have Hive on the way. That's a big deal for Action, for sure. You get the Adrenal upgrade, you get Defilers. Those are 2 amazing things against Protoss. He's got 1-1. He's got 2-2 on the way. He's gone for melee-based attacks, so you can see Action this entire time planning for that later game, going towards Adrenal and focusing on Zergling upgrades. But he did lose his 4th base, which is very painful. He's still at about the same drone count he was like 6 minutes ago. Now, Stork, he didn't make a 3rd Nexus. During this time, you can see that he went up to 8 gates, which is what you can support on 2 bases. So he did full production rounds. He did some great damage, and now he's backing up. He's taking his 3rd base, and I'm sure he's going to take a 4th quickly here as well. So as far as who's ahead, I got to say, I like Action slightly because he's about to be in Hive. Like, with 2-2 upgrades on his Zerglings, when those become Cracklings or Adrenalings, whatever you want to call them, and he adds in some Defilers, these Dragoons are going to be worthless. Right now, the army of Stork, very, very strong. Looks very, very scary. But Zerglings with upgrades are going to massacre. You need Storms, you need Archons, you need upgrades, you need Zealots. Once Hive Tech hits, Dragoons are just not as strong as they were earlier in the game. But it hasn't hit yet. Adrenal has been started. It's about 1/3 the way done. So Stork is going to push with these Dragoons. Let's see what he can get done. The Lurker's being burrowed all over here on the high ground. He is trying to attack uphill. A great storm goes down there from Stork. Another one on these Zerglings. Another one on this Lurker as well. He has 3 observers keeping them alive beautifully so far. Backing up as the Zerglings start to come in. They do have those 2-2 upgrades. Stork with just +2 attack right now. So only equalizing the armor upgrades, not accounting for those extra attacks. Yeah, the upgrades on these Zerglings, such a changing factor in this game. Stork, I think he's looking at this, and can you attack into that? Look at how many lurkers we have here. Look at how many Zerglings with those massive upgrades. Stork decides to turn around and fight again another day. Doesn't want to lose these Dragoons, trying to attack uphill into Zerglings. So action during this has taken a new 4th base. It's actually closer to Stork, but this is hard to attack up into. Stork moving around, and yeah, he's going to funnel in from this direction. This will cut off reinforcements to it, so he only has to deal with what's already up here. Whereas if he had gone the other way, action could have flooded reinforcements in. A nice move from Stork, and once again, going to deny that 4th base of action. Some great moves from Stork. His macro so on point here. 153 supply, keeping his minerals and gas down to a minimum. Looks like he's sending some units around to other locations as well, checking for another 4th here, checking for possible bases up here, and these can also counterattack later on. Action, moving his Zerglings around. He is getting 3/3 upgrades for them. Oh my god, he gets in and surrounds these High Templars. A storm goes down, but he kills all 3 for like 12 Zerglings. That was a very strong move from action. Very important units from Stork falling, especially considering he doesn't have a gas here, so he's still on 2 gas. All right, Stork pushing forward. He's got Reavers mixed in now. Those really help against the Zerglings as well as the Lurkers. Pushing forward. See what he can get done. Oh, action comes up and targets the shuttle, but the speed upgrade helping him to get back. Unfortunately for the observers, they have no similar upgrade yet and do get picked off. So no more detection. At this moment, Stork can't continue to push. The Lurkers just dead-end him. Some more units coming in, trying to pick off what he can. Goes after that shuttle once again. A good pullback. Yeah, he can't pick up the Lurker with that many Hydras or it will get picked off. Oh my god, he gets in and just saves this Reaver. Action, though, continuing his macro. Look at his minerals and gas, how low they're staying. Look at how many units he's making right now. And I know it looks very Protoss favored, but the army that we have for action is so fearsome. 3/3 is on the way. We have Defiler upgrades coming as well as Defilers. And Plague is monstrous against Protoss. The main health does not heal, only the shield. So that makes it very difficult to play against. Now, it looks like action trying to go somewhere with these Lings. A great storm there from Stork. Oh, just barely gets that Archon up. Looks like we have a Zergling stuck on top of the Morphing Archon. Never change, StarCraft 1, never change. All right, it looks like oh my god, he's actually going to get the kill on the Archon. That shows you just how strong Crackling upgrade is. Like, they deal so much damage, it's actually insane. Now, Stork finally going to be getting his 4th base. It's taken him a little bit to get this started, and I think that has to do with just how strong action has been, how many units he's been producing. But Stork rotating up the map right now. Looks like he wants to go after this new 4th of action. If you can keep a Zerg on 3 bases, you definitely can defeat them. Some Zerglings come up and slow everything down. He gets burrowed Lurkers up here as well as more Zerglings. He does have that +3 Carapace upgrade right now, which is huge. +2 melee still on the way for him. More units ciphering up right now. A Defiler is coming as well, and Consume is done. We see that Plague is on the way. So with Consume done, you can start using your Dark Swarm, which will make all the Dragoons miss their hits, and the main Archon hit misses as well. So that's a very, very powerful move as well against Protoss, but really it's when Plague comes out that you're going to see the Protoss army just get shredded. You're going to bring them down to so low health. Shields take full damage from everything, and it's very expensive to get Plasma Shield upgrades. As we can see, none for Stork thus far. Though he does have 2-1. It's not bad upgrades that we're seeing, but action really outdoing him as far as those upgrades go. All right, a Dark Storm going down as Stork moves up the map. Where can Stork attack right now? He's looking for some damage, but now the Plague's coming out. It feels like he's kind of on a timer here to get some more damage done. At least he's putting himself there with these attacks. He does have a lot of Psy Storms. Sends those Zealots forward. A nice storm there, but a great dodge from action, saving most of his drones. No second storm going to finish those off. Some more units rallying in right now. Another Plague comes down. Archons with Plague, they just look cooler. Doesn't do too much to them, but to these Dragoons, definitely makes a huge difference. Now Lurker moving forward here. The Dark Storm now gone. Stork is actually being pretty darn efficient. Look at that. A great storm goes down. Really hurts this lurker. More coming from the other side, though. A storm goes down, mostly dodged, but the second one nailing these lurkers. 3 will get moved out of there, and almost no units left over for Stork. His army will be clean, but sending a few more zealots up, maybe he can clear some of these damaged lurkers from the storm. Unfortunately for Stork, though, I think that this trade was quite good for action. You can see that reflected in the supplies. Stork was up 50 supply before these attacks occurred. Now he's up 10. And one thing that you need to know about Brood War, if you don't know anything else, if Zerg supply is near their opponent's supply, they are winning. Zerg units just kind of cost less supply. You expect them at a lower supply and be able to fight evenly. Just kind of how the game works for whatever reason. But yeah, looking at this, I think that Action has done a pretty good job. He's got his 4th base up and secure. He's got insane production. He's even starting his ranged upgrades. He's got 3/3 cracklings here. He's got defilers with Consume and Plague. It's looking very good for him right now. But Stork, let's take a look what he's got. Okay, 2 mined out bases. He's got this one brand new. He's got this one, still a lot of minerals there as well. But his overall army hasn't really grown in value. He lost basically his entire army, and now he's just pumping out Zealot High Templar, which makes sense. Those are like kind of the units you want. The Dragoons, as I said, once you get to Hive, they don't scale as well. Like, basically Defilers hard counter them. Oh no. Oh no. Insane Plague right there. Great job from Action bringing that down. But one thing I do want to mention is Stork is making Reavers. And Reavers are super strong in the late game as well. Like, they do damage under the Dark Swarm. They kill the Zerglings. They kill the Lurkers. You know, they're very useful still. So hopefully he can make something happen with that. Now, oh my God, look at this dance of the drones. Oh my God, I can't even believe that juking and jiving from Action. Fantastically done, and I can't believe he kept that many alive against multiple size storms in a drop, but wow, that was insane. Now Stork running around, as you can see, these Zealots so low on health. Look at that, 60 health. These are like glorified SCVs right now. Okay, they're not doing so well after that Plague. A DT being pushed out, more and more High Templars. That's definitely a good thing. DT kind of patrolling over this side of the map. Love to see it. Also regaining some energy on these High Templars to do another storm drop. Just has them outside so he can check the energy really quickly. Yeah, I mean, Stork, I guess he's still in it. He's building his army out again, right? Lots of High Templars. He's getting the Reavers. He's getting the Archons. He is going to add some Dragoons in. You do still want some Dragoons, even though they do get countered pretty hard in the late game. You do need that range damage. You need that micro ability of those Dragoons still. So he is making a few of those. Action, though, starting to expand again. Going for his 5th base for the first time this game. He's looking so good. My God, the Defilers are going to be such an issue. And this is really kind of the unit that Action is known for as well. Both in this matchup and against Terran. He's so good with Defiler-based play. If he gets there, he's generally at an advantage against just about anyone. And as you can see, he just keeps walking out, getting plagues, just value over and over and over with these. Running some lings around the map. Take out Stork's vision. Look at the vision of Action. You can't get past him right now. He sees you no matter where you go. He's got a good lurker spread here, so they're campaigning running through the middle. Looks like Stork going to move out. He's actually down in supply right now. So they have about the same army supply, but better upgrades for Action. And again, he has those Defilers. We don't see any Reavers with this. Yeah, he just has them out. Okay, he's going to throw them in a shuttle and bring them up. That's a good way to do it. You obviously can't walk your Reavers across the map. Okay, going after this. Oh, the Defiler. I guess it's probably going to die from some splash damage or something here. But yeah, oh, you see the Dark Storm goes down. The Dragoons can't really do much. Great size storm, though. And as the Reavers come up, he can really push into this. Well, I mean, under the Dark Storm, obviously you can't kill it with this. Got to utilize the Reaver. And Stork, I mean, it's looking tough. He's sending up more units. He's got a pretty good army. He needs some size storms in this, though, or he's just going to get slaughtered. Reavers are very good, but if you don't have size storm late game, you just cannot beat the Zerg swarm. So it looks like there's going to be attack here. Even drones joining the fray. Oh my god, picks up those Reavers. The Scourge going for the shuttle. Does eventually get it. Some great Reaver hits, but between Plague and Cracklings, it looks like Stork's army going to go down here. Stork trying to save what he can. Brings up some more High Templars. Can throw down some Storms. So he doesn't quite have vision of that high ground. I'm going to go ahead and throw one down on that Lurker. Backing up now. Needs another base. Looks like he's getting ready to take this mineral base. Sending some more Zealots up through the map. Action. Running around. Just sending Zerglings. Don't forget how cheap these are. 2 for 50 minerals. Can just send a small group like this. And, I mean, 10 Zerglings can kill just about any Protoss buildings in 2 seconds. Stork coming up for another fight here. And, yeah, as he loses it, GG is called. And Action gonna take game number 1.